It'll happen when you least expect it. Why would I not expect it? Why would I not expect it? I am so cool and awesome. What the fuck do you mean? Someone meets me and they are like, wow, Maddie's like really fucking cool. I kind of would love to spend more time with her. Yeah. Yeah, no, that actually makes total sense. God, some people are so smart. Like, what do you mean what'll happen when you least expect it? I always am going to expect it.
Dude, where are you? Pick up your phone. I'm going to a summer party tonight, and you're obviously invited, so call me back. Okay, I love you. Bye.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Emotionally Online, the weekly slumber party for spilling guts and sharing secrets, hosted by yours truly, the one and only Sid Sloth. I don't know why I had a little lisp there. We're just gonna move straight past that. Hopefully you don't internalize this. I do not know why I had a lisp just then. That was so weird, so strange of me. Anyways. How we doing? How we feeling? Missed you guys last week. I'm so sorry that I was not here. I had to take a little bit of a moment for myself to recenter and get myself back into a routine, which I am so excited about. I really am craving a routine. I can't speak today. Like, what's happening? Why do I keep saying things weird? I am craving a routine in the worst way right now. I feel like the last couple months have been a lot of travel, a lot of hosting, a lot of constant chaos and plans. I don't remember the last time that I have had a day to myself to sit and do nothing. And I need doing nothing like I need air inside my fucking lungs at this point, okay? I am so excited to spend the next 2.5 months planted, feet firmly in New York with no guests. With peace and love, peace and love. I am not accepting guests at this time. I love you so much. And also, do not come here. Do not come. I'm mostly serious about that. There's a few people I would make exceptions for because I'm so bestie coded that like I just can't say no to some bestie hours because that's good for my soul, my heart and soul. But in a general sense, I need to spend some serious time alone and getting myself back into a routine. No more disruptions of the schedule and the vibe, okay? From now until summer, we are hunkering down. I am here in New York. I am trying to save a little bit of money, be thriftier, cook at home more often. I'm trying to get in lots of joyful movement. I'm trying to write more. I'm trying to sit here and talk to the camera more. I'm trying to just do the things that fill my cup and get in a good routine and ritual with all of it because it feels so good when I'm able to just commit to my routines without the constant disruptions from travel and hosting people and trying to make sure they have a good time. Like, I just want to live my boring life sometimes, you know, like the traveling and the hosting and doing all the fun, flashy things. That's awesome and so much fun. And also, I love living my boring life and doing my same boring things every single day because I enjoy that and I'm having fun with it. And I need a little bit of boring hours, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited to be feet firmly planted. But last weekend or 2 weekends ago now, I don't know when it was, I was in Boston visiting Ashley for her birthday and I had the best weekend hanging out with all of the besties, just getting to wake up every day and be like, oh my God, and I get to see you guys again tomorrow. That's fucking so awesome that we just get to keep hanging out and keep doing more and more and more things together. That is awesome. That is super fucking awesome. We stayed up late talking like every single night. There's nothing better than that. I keep saying to all my friends, like, we need to bring back sleepovers in a major way. And which fucking obviously, you guys know I've been saying this. I've been on the sleepover train since sleepovers were invented, okay? By me. I invented sleepovers. But I feel like as an adult, you like lose the sleepover aspect of it. And listen, I get it. I want to sleep in my own bed too. However, I think when somebody's got like good sleepover vibes at their house, then like, what's the difference? I've got an air mattress. The vibes are good in this house. I have a good sleepover house. The same way when you were younger, you knew which houses were the good vibe sleepover houses, which ones were the best sleepover conditions, if you will. You know, I have a good sleepover condition home. All right. I know I just said I needed everyone to get the fuck out of my house with peace and love, peace and love. However, I think that sometimes when the vibes are right, nothing beats that time in a hangout, in a sleepover, that you only reach when you've been together for like an extended amount of time and it gets deeper into the night where the walls just start coming down. We're getting a little looser. Everyone's just like ready to dive in. And somehow, some way, you stumble upon a topic that you can really go to town on. And it's like 1 a.m. and you're sitting there already in a fucking circle. Like, let's go. Everyone lock in. We are going to drill this topic into the fucking ground. Okay? There is nothing better than those vibes at 1 a.m. when you're with the right group of people. And I do feel like sometimes when you don't plan to sleep over and spend the night, you end up missing out on, you know, crossing over into that part of conversation. People be leaving too early. I've been saying this. I've told all my friends this. I'm like, listen, I know that many people are afraid of overstaying their welcome. All right. And I'm telling you right now, many of you understay your welcome in my home, which I understand. I'm conflicting the shit out of myself right now. I'm like, I want routines. No one come to my house. And also, when you do come to my house, you don't stay for nearly long enough. But really, both things feel deeply true to me right now. Yes, I need to be in a routine. I'm not trying to disrupt my routine, right? But on a Saturday night when like I'm planning on spending all day Sunday just like watching TV and cleaning and hanging out, we can have a sleepover and get into this and you can overstay as long as you want, okay? I feel like so often people understay their welcome in my home and I'm like, oh, really? You're leaving? That's it? We're done? Because I wanted you to stay super late so we could breach that wall where it reaches a certain hour and things start to get a little bit more intense. Like, that's fucking awesome. All of my favorite hangouts that I've ever had with people, we've crossed that line into the, the deep unknown, that era of a sleepover. But I feel so deeply satisfied because we crossed that line every goddamn night when I was in Boston. Oh, it was so much fun to just hang out with the besties. One of the conversations that we got into when we were deep into it, one of those nights, it was, I think Ashley might have gone to bed this night. It was me, Ellie, Mika, and then Ashley's two roommates, Kobe and Bob, who we also love here. Honorary lover girls, if you will. I don't remember how we got onto this topic. At some point in the night, we breached the topic of like, if you woke up tomorrow with a penis, what's the first thing you would do with it? And really, I love topics like these because you can go as deep as you want to go here. You can answer like a normal person, or you can have way more fun with it. And we got so nitty gritty with this one, but there was an idea passed around that I found true resonance with over the last week of mulling it over. But when I was asked this question, I said the first thing that I would do is I would kind of treat it like Flat Stanley in a way. And I would take pictures of it every fucking place that it is appropriate for me to take a picture of it. And then we got into the conversation of like, okay, well, how many dick pics do you think were taken in these exact coordinates? Like over the span of time, how many people do you think were in this building, or not even necessarily in this building, but at these coordinates and took a photo here? And then it spirals out from there, right? It goes from what would you do if you had a penis to Flat Stanley dick pics to who else has taken a dick pic in this very location? Like, what kinds of history are we sitting among right now? And you just keep going, all right? You just keep pulling at the string. Follow that thought. Follow the dream. And you end somewhere really, truly quite magical. but it's the following of the thread deep into the hours of the night and into the morning. That's where the real magic happens. And that's what I feel that many people are missing out on by leaving the function early. And I understand a bedtime is a bedtime, and I am becoming even more loyal to a bedtime now that I have an Aura ring, because I need to be given a good score. If I don't get a crown, bitch, that's going to be a problem. Okay? I need to do good things. All right? I need to do good things. So I understand. You got a bedtime. You've got a certain amount of hours you want to sleep. I totally get that. And also, sometimes the social win of extending into those deep hours does so much more for your body than sleep ever could. And that's coming from someone who loves to get a good 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night. And if I don't, I do feel like there's something a little wrong with me. The next time you wonder, like, oh, am I overstaying my welcome? Consider the possibility that you could also be understaying your welcome. And as a result, you could be missing out on some true, scientific research that can only be brought up past a certain hour once you've been in conversation with people for a significant period of time. We also went to a nude spa while I was in Boston, and it was awesome. It was so awesome. I feel like I'm going back into my Free the Nipple era. We're going back to 2016. I need to get one of those Free the Nipple shirts back on my body right fucking now. We're going Free the Nipple Tumblr, okay? That is the era that we are in post exiting that spa, because I can't tell you how fucking awesome it is to have your tits out. Like, it is so awesome. It is so awesome. I love having my tits out. Also, having your tits out in a body of water is extra awesome, because I guess specifically if they're above a certain size is where you would start to really understand how great what I'm talking about is. But when you have big boobs and you go in a body of water and they lift themselves off your body because they're floating above the water, and that underside of your boob gets like to breathe without you holding them up. That's awesome. That's awesome, okay? It's like experiencing an orgasm that's not self-inflicted for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, when you are masturbating and you're thinking to yourself, like, this is awesome. And imagine how awesome this would be if I could go hands-free right now. If I could go hands-free mode, all right? Self-driving car. This is the same satisfaction to me. Going into a body of water in a place where I'm allowed to be nude and allowing my boobs to enter anti-gravity mode, okay? Allowing them to be released from my chest so that under area of my boob can just breathe. It's just so awesome. It's so awesome to have your fucking nipples out. Also, they're so pretty to look at. Come on. I want to show them to you, and they're so awesome to look at. I'm being generous, really, when it comes down to it. I'm being so generous, and it's something that I want to do. Oh, God. My boobs are so much better than men's. Why do men get to walk around and show their boobies off all the fucking time? Cut out the competition entirely. These insecure fucks. They couldn't let me walk around topless because it made them feel like their boobs were inferior. Oh, it's just fucking awesome. I need to go to a fully nude beach at some point in my life and just like be in community with other people that don't give a fuck like that. No weirdo shit. No weirdo shit. Just people who are cool with being naked in public. And it's allowed. I want to be free. Freeing the nipple. Yes, this is where we come back. 2016 is so back. 2016 is here. So last week I made a YouTube video titled, I've Never Been Someone's Girlfriend. And this was like a personal journal video of sorts where I was talking about the shame I used to feel from never having been someone's girlfriend and the kind of pressure that added to my life and why that's really not as present in my life anymore. And then I go on to talk about, a little bit more about my most recent crush and about the process of moving on and how non-linear and non-girl boss that whole thing has been for me. Anyways, go check out the video if you're interested in all of that. I really love that video. It quickly became one of my favorites. And I think I'm going to keep doing more stuff like that over on that channel if you are interested in it. So anyways, the point of me bringing this up is because in that video, there's like this throwaway segment where I talk about the phrase, it'll happen when you least expect it, and why I personally hate that phrase. Now, honestly, when I said all that, I thought that was probably going to be the least polarizing thing I said in that video. I was wrong again, though. Fuck. I think maybe at the end of the day, I'm just a polarizing girl. I think maybe at the end of the day, I love saying this as someone who's like significantly less polarizing than most people on the internet, but I still think that I like really deliver in the hot takes department sometimes, every now and then. Or you know what, more than anything, it's not even like the hot takes, it's the intensity that I bring to every subject matter, regardless of whether or not it actually is that intense inside my heart or not. I have to explain this to people all the time because I feel like sometimes people misconstrue my passion for like anger or frustration. And I'm like, no, dude, like I'm just passionate. I'm just really intense about everything. So don't take everything I'm about to say offensively. Or actually, I can't control how you feel. If you want to be offended, I guess that's fine. You know what? I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. And we're just gonna leave it at that. If this is too much for you, then go find someone with less opinions. Been feeling so inspired by Gabby Windey and everything that she says. There's some clip from her podcast of her talking about how she wants to be polarizing, and this is not for everyone. You're not going to like it here. And I love her. Everything that comes out of her mouth, I'm like, no, actually though, someone needed to say it, and I'm so glad it was you, Gabby. But anyways, the phrase, it'll happen when you least expect it. I talk in this video about how I really hate this phrase, and I find it to be dismissive at best and condescending at worst. And honest to God, I didn't think this was a hot take because in my own personal social circles, this is a common take. This is, to be honest with you, I'm friends with a lot of single people. I don't know a single person who likes this phrase. I don't know anybody who likes it. So when I said it, I really, in my heart, I felt like I was saying something extremely popular. And I took a gander in those comments, and I definitely saw quite a few people who were not loving this. And they were ready to go to town to defend it'll happen when you least expect it. I didn't know it'll happen when you least expect it had fans like that. I didn't know people were writing for this phrase. Big, it'll happen when you least expect it, came in hard on me after I said I thought that phrase was fucking booty cheeks. Okay. But because I am who I am and I can't change. I'm so sorry. I can't just leave it at that, guys. Like I have more things to say. What started as like a throwaway conversation in that video is gonna turn into a whole segment on the podcast. Because now I'm like, hold on a second. Now I'm ready to really give you my persuasive argument on why I don't like the phrase it'll happen when you least expect it, because I really thought it was common. But now I'm like, holy shit, it's maybe not as common as I thought it was. And now I have to really deliver my argumentative, persuasive essay to the people. Okay. So I come with the most peace and love inside my heart. If you love this phrase, I'm actually not even shading you at all. I love that you found something that you love. Okay. I saw someone say that on Letterboxd the other day. Someone gave the Minecraft movie a shitty review. That seems expected, right? But there was someone in the comment section like riding for the Minecraft movie, like riding for it. And this person that gave it a bad review was like, cool. I love that you found something you love. And also, you didn't change my opinion at all. That's the energy that I'm going to be bringing to this conversation. Nothing you say is going to change my opinion on this. And I don't necessarily expect anything that I say to change your opinion either. I think that we can both sit in our intense opinions about this phrase in peace and love and harmony. Okay? with peace and love, I fucking hate the phrase, it'll happen when you least expect it. This is my version of, and I don't think so, honey. Okay. Except I'm going to go way over 60 seconds. So here is my take. The phrase, it'll happen when you least expect it, is a phrase that is handed out to every fucking single person. Every single person has been given the phrase, it'll happen when you least expect it, as a piece of advice at some point in time. And not only is it completely fucking unhelpful, it is at best dismissive, at worst condescending. And ultimately, my point here is that the volume with which this piece of advice is handed out is at a largely disproportionate amount compared to the volume of people that would resonate with this, or that it actually makes sense as a piece of advice to give someone. My point is not to say that this has never been true for anyone. Fucking obviously, there are people who meet people via happenstance all the time, a happy accident. They look at their relationship and they think, oh, I had no idea this was happening. I didn't expect it at all. There was no part of me. I had given up on love. I hated it. I never was going to find love again. I was over it. And then it found me. I'm sure there are people who really resonate with the phrase, it'll happen when you least expect it, because that mirrors their own personal experience. However, I do not believe that most love happens when you least expect it. And I think that that is a stupid and unhelpful phrase to hand out to single people. Boom. I just think it is a lousy response to give someone who is opening up to you about their frustrations in dating or their longing for romance and hope of finding the right person for them. If somebody looks at me and says, it'll happen when you least expect it, my eyes are going to roll so far back into my head, down my fucking throat, okay? And you know what? It's not even necessarily my beef with the statement itself. My beef is in the volume with which this statement is said. It's given out to all single people, and it cannot possibly apply to all single people. I don't like it. I don't like how popular this phrase is. Maybe that's my beef. If this phrase was less popular, maybe I would hate it less. But because it's so popular and because I've heard it 1,800 times in my life, and I don't feel that it applies to me at all in the slightest bit. In fact, I personally find it condescending more often than not. Well, also, here's the thing. Nobody's saying this to me. Nobody's saying this to me because people that I'm having these kinds of conversations with are far more thoughtful and are not giving me, pre-baked responses from the advice factory. Oh, Maddie said this to me. I'm going to say this to her. Pre-banked. Loaded that one in. All right. We put the chip in earlier this morning and loaded in a bunch of pre-written responses. I'm not confiding in people like that or asking for advice from people who would give me this response. I'm sorry I'm being such a hater. It's not even that serious. It is not even that serious. That's okay. That is okay. But let me get into all my reasoning for why I specifically as an individual do not like this phrase and don't find that it resonates for me. Okay. Number one is that I don't like the idea that the only way to be energetically open to something happening in your life is that you have to be at some level aloof about it and not care. It starts to get a little bit too cool girl for me. I do not personally resonate as someone with a too much gene with the idea that we need to care about things less in order to procure them in our own lives. Like, I know another phrase that people love is I don't chase, I attract. I get it. And also, I chase and I attract, you fucking bitches. Bet you didn't see that one coming. I don't like the idea that we have to not give a fuck about something in order to bring it into our lives. That like we could be too passionate, too intense, too full of desire for something that we could like remove it from the orbit. We could anti-manifest it by giving a fuck about it. I think that is so dumb. So dumb, I do. And this take in the YouTube video came off the heels of me saying that my yearning for love and accepting that part of myself gave me a certain kind of freedom because I feel so clear on what it is that I want. I feel totally unsuppressed in my desire, that I'm not stressed out about when it happens or who it's happening with, because that clarity feels quite calming to me. But I wanted to make clear once I said that I wasn't on some it'll happen when you least expect it, just focus on yourself type shit, because that feels dishonest to me. I believe that there is a world, and I believe this because this is the world that I currently live in, but I believe that there is a world where your openness about wanting love, your clarity about that, your acceptance of that desire, of the part of yourself that longs for love, your acceptance of that part of yourself provides you with enough calm that you do not feel shame about wanting it. You also don't feel shame about not having it. And you also don't feel a pressure for any kind of timeline at all. And me not wanting kids plays a role here, but, in general, me being honest about my openness to love, my optimism, my relentless optimism towards love is not rooted in wanting to escape singlehood or having any kind of dissatisfaction for my life as it currently is today. Maybe it is for you, but it is not for me. So when I talk about having an optimism for love and being a romantic and really looking forward to the day that I meet the right person for me, understand that that can coexist with me loving my solitude, loving my independence. And in many ways, these things have to go together, because I am also a believer that being comfortable with yourself, being comfortable and content in your own solitude is like a key part of making sure you end up with the right person, and that you're not just like, with someone to avoid yourself in some way. For me, there has been a world where I was able to lean into my desire for love, my desire for romance, my, relentless optimism about finding the right person for me. There is a world where I have leaned into that so much. I have embraced it, accepted it, talked about it openly and honestly so many times that now I am in this place where I do feel complete and utter calm about it and just trust that everything is happening the way that it is meant to for me. That is not the same as it'll happen when you least expect it, for a few more reasons that I would still like to continue on to. I just in general hate, double hate. The like spiritual idea that you can't want something too much, and you could be like blocking your own blessings by thinking about something too much. Like whenever I am watching some kind of tarot video or any like spiritual content and they hand me some dumb shit about just like set it and forget it, like let it go, let go and let God, babe. Like you think about it once and then you just leave it there and you just move on with your life and you just let it happen in the background. And I'm like, in a lighthearted way, all of that is fine. But sometimes in those videos, they will dead ass be like, don't think about it at all. If you do think about it, you're manifesting bad things for yourself. And I hate it so much as a bitch with anxiety. Babe, I don't know who the fuck you are talking to. Clearly, you are not mentally ill. That's all I'm going to say. Because I couldn't forget about something if I wanted to. If I begged and pleaded with a higher power to remove something from my brain, it wouldn't fucking work, okay? When I was like 7 or 8 years old, I must have already talked about this because it haunts me to this day, okay? But there was an episode of The Amanda Show within the Moody's Point segment where the dad got his toe chopped off, and at the end of the episode, there was a homeless man playing with the severed toe. Fucked up. Super fucked up, but it was on Nickelodeon. Dan Schneider, I will shoot you with a gun. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, okay, that was not a threat. I'm sorry. I started talking for so long and I started saying things like that. That was not a threat. But my 7, 8-year-old self saw that episode, and I went to bed that night being like, oh my God, I need to forget that. I need to do everything in my power to forget this image. It is burned into my brain. And I was like, I really hope I forget that. I couldn't sleep that night. I was terrified. This was the scariest shit ever to me. I felt similarly the first time I saw an episode of Fear Factor. It was playing on my cousin's TV in her bedroom when I went over to their house as a child. I felt the same way when I watched Good Luck Chuck accidentally on my iPod at age 10. Okay? These were moments in my childhood where I was like, please take it out of my brain. I don't know how to sit with that. Please, I don't know how to grapple with witnessing a man play with a severed toe. I don't know how to grapple with witnessing this woman inside of a glass box with tarantulas climbing all over her. I don't know how to grapple with the fact that I just saw boobs on my iPod Touch and I think I liked it. I begged for someone to remove these things from my head so I didn't have to think about them. Unfortunately, I have thought about them impulsively for the entirety of my 28 years on planet Earth, okay? I am not the type of bitch that can just turn this thing off, okay? I am in constant conversation with myself up here. If I could get her to shut the fuck up, I would. Why the fuck do you think I have a podcast? Do you think that I can get myself to shut up? Do you understand how annoying it is to live as me? How dare you tell me not to think about something? How dare you? How dare you tell me to remove something from my brain? If I fucking could, do you think I would have done it by now? What do you mean? That in order to manifest this shit, I have to stop giving a fuck about it and stop thinking about it? I couldn't do it if I tried. If I tried. So you're telling me the mentally ill cannot manifest? Oh God. Oh God. So I'm just stuck like this? Every time I see a video like that on my Instagram Reels or TikTok or wherever the fuck I'm watching it, I'm like, how dare you say that to me? How dare you say that to me? Or when they do some crazy shit and they're like and share this video with 4 of your closest friends or your grandmother's gonna die tomorrow. And I'm like, what? Why would you say that? I feel similarly. It's just like, I hate the stuff that tells you not to think about it. Because I'm like, have you ever had an impulsive thought before? Have you ever thought something and not been able to stop thinking it? Like, don't tell me I need to not think about things in order for good things to happen to me. That is never going to hit for me. Literally never in my life is it going to hit. It's not. So that's problem number 1 that I have. Problem number 2 is that I understand that how I am behaving right now in my dating life does fit some people's definition of, and it'll happen when you least expect it. Oh my God, just focus on yourself and it'll come to you. Fucking nonsense. I understand that the way that I currently behave would fit many people's definition of what they're trying to say with this phrase, in that I'm not actively dating. I am taking a more backseat approach to my dating life at this point. We'll see. I don't care when it happens, who it happens with. I'm open-minded. I'm optimistic, but I'm not grinding dates. However, there have been many points in my life where I have been grinding dates, and I have been actively putting myself out there, really trying to meet as many people as possible, go on as many dates as I could, and I will fight in defense of that version of myself, even if I am not her today. To me, the phrase "it'll happen when you least expect it" sort of implies a more backseat approach. You're not expecting it. If you're going on constant dates and putting yourself out there, I think it would be a little strange if you didn't expect it. It's like, well, that's kind of what happens when you put yourself out there and go on constant dates. The objective for doing that is you're trying to meet the right person for you. So you should have some level of expectation that you would meet that person if you're doing all of that. I think effort is cool. I think putting in a bunch of effort, if that's what you want to do, is cool. So you're never going to convince me that being aloof is the cooler thing to do. Never. I'm just not her. That's not me. It's not hitting for me. I'm sure it's not a surprise why this phrase does not hit for me specifically. And going off of that, number 3, it'll happen when you least expect it. Why would I not expect it? Why would I not expect it? I am so cool and awesome. What the fuck do you mean? Someone meets me and they are like, wow, Maddie's like really fucking cool. I kind of would love to spend more time with her. Yeah. Yeah, no, that actually makes total sense. God, some people are so smart. Like, what do you mean it'll happen when you least expect it? I always am going to expect it. I am in my own corner. I am my number one fan. Like, it would never be surprising to me if someone else met me and thought that I was fucking awesome and wanted to spend time with me. Like, yeah, this is what I've been saying, babe. Duh. For sure. Taste. What do you mean? Like, I'm always going to expect it. It would never be surprising to me if somebody met me and was like, damn, she's cool. You're so right, King. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. There is some part of it'll happen when you least expect it that also implies that you should think less of yourself, which is also why it doesn't resonate with me. I'm like, how am I going to not expect this? I'm fucking sick, you know? Like, it'll happen when you least expect it. But I would never be surprised if someone thought that I was awesome. I would not be surprised by that. For sure, dude. It's the least expected part that I think I have a problem with. If somebody was like, it'll happen when it happens, you never know what's going to happen. Like, that doesn't bother me because that implies that it can happen tomorrow. It can happen an hour from now. It can happen when you're thinking about it all the time, when you've forgotten about it, when you're taking a shower, when you're on a walk. Like, who knows? There's a sense of like whimsy and wonder about it. But the least expected part of it, it's like I have to turn my brain off. I have to think less of myself. I have to shrink because I can't expect it when you least expect it. No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And finally, I will say that most of my beef with the phrase "it'll happen when you least expect it" comes from the context with which it is usually delivered. In that, usually in my life, when it's been said to me, it is coming off the heels of me talking about my frustrations in dating or my longing for romance. When I just shared something like pretty vulnerable, someone will be like, oh, it'll happen when you least expect it. Just focus on yourself. Do you. Like, it'll come to you, when you least expect it. And I have always found that to be such a strange response to hearing someone speak vulnerably about the frustration in dating. Number one, because I don't think that expressing frustration in that way requires advice. This is person to person. You know if the person that you're talking to is seeking advice or not. For me personally, I have never sought after advice about my singlehood. I don't need advice about it. Sometimes I just want to vent about my feelings and be like, oh, this is how I'm feeling. And I just need someone to be like, oh, dude, I get it. It's tough. I'll be like, dude, thank you so much for listening to me. Like, I don't need someone to have this weird response to me trying to comfort me. I'm like, I don't need comfort. I just need to be heard, you know? And also, the just focus on yourself bit of it, which is usually what follows all of this. It'll happen when you least expect it. In the meantime, do this. And the thing you need to do in the meantime is just focus on yourself. I promise you, the single people in your life have done so much focusing on themselves. Baby, I have done nothing but focus on myself for the last 28 years. I promise you that many of the single people you know have behaved the same exact way that you did in dating, but they just haven't met the right person. So it's not a matter of them needing to spend more time with themselves to do a certain amount of healing and then doors will open for them, or do XYZ differently, whatever. The reality is there is some level of luck involved in dating, and we can't always control when we meet the right people for us, or, the people that are going to resonate the most with us. To be told to just focus on yourself, that's the part that is so condescending, because I'm like, okay. Whatever. You know what? I can't. Then now, this is the point where I can turn a corner and start to be a real bitch about it, because I actually find that so annoying. My point in all of this is just to say that if you love that phrase and it rings true to you, I love that for you. I love that for you. I love that you had this wonderfully unexpected romance that swept you off your feet. That sounds beautiful and wonderful. And also, I don't love this as a piece of advice handed out to all single people, because it's something that doesn't ring true for me. And I have found it to be quite dismissive in response to me specifically. and it starts to read like pity at some level. And no single person wants your pity, not even one. I'm here to deliver my takes and my opinions. So here is my take and my opinion. And one that I know is, shared by a lot of single people that I know. I just think the phrase "it'll happen when you least expect it" is not hit in the way you think it is, specifically for the least expected part, for the context in which it is usually delivered, and for what it's usually followed up with. What we should do while we're least expecting it. Focus on ourselves. Yeah. Bruh. I need you to get me something better. Go back to the Advice Factory and ask them for a refund because I didn't like this one. It didn't hit for me, as a very passionate, intense, too much girly with lots of feelings. This is never going to hit for me. Hi, Maddie. I just watched your most recent episode and I've been thinking a lot about the whole villager thing and being so lucky to be surrounded by such loving women and female friendships. I'm going to be starting college in the fall and I've been reaching out to some girls I've seen post on our university's Instagram page for my class to get to know them. I've met some girls who seem so sweet, but I just don't know if there's a connection there. Like we're just not quite clicking. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm having a hard time getting out of this friendship talking stage. What are the time frames? How do I make and keep genuine friends online? How do I build a village from scratch? I've been replying to people's Instagram stories and encouraging them on whatever they're doing, having nice conversations to get to know one another, but never touching more intimate topics, and I'm just not quite sure how to bring it further from such a distance. I don't have trouble necessarily maintaining friendships from a distance, but I just need help/advice on building new ones for this season of life and new city I'm moving to. And something else that's been on my mind a lot is, as the time for college comes nearer, how will I coexist and live with someone I've never met before as a roommate? Should there be boundaries and a minimal friendship to keep the coexisting easy, or deep friendship to really live together? I know this is a lot, but I would be so deeply appreciative of some help on navigating this time in my life, since I'm so inspired by your female friendships and I see the way that you navigate sisterhood as really inspiring. I think for starters, I would start with accepting that you are going to enter college without this figured out. I don't think most people are making friends online before going to college. I don't think that's common. When I went to college, I definitely talked to some people in like my year's Facebook group. At the time, did I actually become friends with any of those people? No. I actually think a lot of those people didn't even end up going to my college. Here's the thing. We can't avoid that awkward, uncomfortable phase of moving to a new place with an entirely new group of people where we're trying to find our footing and find our people. We can't avoid that era, that period. I think that's a really helpful time. And I don't think that you should be trying to avoid it in any way or like hack the system so you have your community already set for you before you even get there. The reality is you need to experience life with people. You need to come across people more organically and naturally. Meeting people online is great, and you definitely can meet people online. In general, though, in building community, like you're going to meet people through your classes, on your floor, your roommates, friends of your roommates, like you are going to meet people in so many ways. And freshman year of college is a lot of meeting people. You meet so many people, and the people you hang out with sophomore, junior, senior year might not be the same people you hang out with freshman year. Point being, I would encourage you to be open-minded about who you're meeting and who you're spending time with and who your community is. I would also say that I appreciate your admiration of me and the friendships that I've been able to make, and what a high value friendship is to me in my life. And also, I'll tell you right now that at 28 years old, I still don't feel like I have completed my work here. Like I'm always looking for ways to expand my community, deepen my friendships, and finding someone who is more than just a friend but can be like a real villager to you, that takes time. And we can't speed up or hack that process. That is something that comes with knowing someone in time, discovering your values together as friends, seeing how you show up for each other. I think that like all you can do is show up as you, bring your vulnerable self to these friendships, experience life with these people, and it'll happen in due time, you know? But I don't think that we can hack these things to make it so that we are never uncomfortable at all, or that we never go through periods of life where our community is more uncertain. I have so many wonderful, strong friendships, women that I would literally fucking die for. I do feel like I have many, villagers in my circle, these people that, take their role as a friend as seriously as I do, that I feel like I can really rely on and lean on. And I'm really lucky to have people like that. And there's not a day that passes by where I don't know that. And also, it would be wrong to think when you're looking at me, if you're using me as like a bar for comparison, that getting to this point has been smooth sailing, or even that it's all smooth sailing right now. Like, I hope that you don't look at me and think that I have this like perfect, untouchable thing when it comes to the friendships in my life. Like, I am also going through the trials and tribulations of finding the right people for you. I just hope that you don't look at me and think that I have it all figured out, because I absolutely don't. And I'm still learning and discovering, the kinds of community that I want to have in my life. The whole villager conversation and why that TikTok resonated so much with me really came from the fact that I've had a few friendship breakups in recent memory that have just triggered a lot of reflections in me on like what kinds of friendships I'm looking for in my life. So please don't look at me and think that I have like I know some secret that you don't also know. Like, I am also in constant pursuit of building a stronger and more tight-knit community for myself. I think I've made a lot of great strides. I'm 28. I've got, a great foundation of people around me. And also, I feel like I have a lot more to learn as a person, and I have so many more people that I'm supposed to meet in this life. And as much as I would love to be like, and that was my last friendship breakup I'll ever have, and it'll never happen again, that's probably not true. You know what I mean? Like, we this is a continuous learning thing. It's not just like you go from high school to college, and then once you're in college, you find this new friend group, and then you're good forever. Like, I'm 28 now, and my friends in college and my friends now, when I tell you there is very little overlap, like, just when did I graduate college? 2019? 6 years ago? What the fuck? I graduated college. Shut up. What my community looked like 6 years ago is completely different than what it looks like right now. And 6 years from now, I'm sure it'll look different too. Granted, there are familiar faces in all of these eras, right? But community changes and we change, and it is okay to not have everything figured out. Villager type friendship is something that is going to take a while to build. So there is no time frame. And I wouldn't worry about making friends online before going to college. The reality is everyone goes into college not knowing anybody. Everyone starts there, okay? You go to college, every single person in your freshman class is going to be down to make friends. So don't stress about trying to hack the system before you get there to, give yourself the most comfortable starting point. I would accept that it's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to be different and it's going to take a while. And you might not feel settled for a hot minute, and that's okay. Navigating roommates in college is sort of an entirely different conversation to me. I was friends with my freshman year roommates. That was the only year that I lived in the dorms. After freshman year, I got apartments with my friends. So I never lived with someone that I wasn't friends with. I became friends with everyone that I lived with. Did it always end well? No, because some people live differently. And living with people is hard. When you live with someone that is significantly messier than you are, or you have different ideas of what clean looks like, or, you know, someone just generally lives quite different to how you live. Maybe they, you know, stay up till all hours of the night. Maybe they're someone that it takes like 5 to 10 alarms to wake them up in the morning. There's all different kinds of incompatibilities that you can have when it comes to living with someone. I think it's like, if you're friends with your roommate, cool. If you don't click and you're just more like cordial, you just live together, but you live together fine, that's fine too. Like, I don't think we need all the answers to these questions before we get there. I think we can just sort of live and learn in the moment. If you click, awesome. If you don't click, also awesome. And you sort of have to navigate that in the moment. And I think early college is a time of like major self-discovery and like learning really what your friendship values are, learning about how you want to live outside of your parents' home. Like, there's going to be so many questions and so many answers thrown at you all at once. Point is, you don't need to know them right now. So sorry if you were hoping for a more concrete answer from me, but really, from one anxious girl to maybe another based on your message here, I don't think you need to know all the answers. And I think that it is okay to just live and learn when you get there and, you know, fly by the seat of your pants a little bit, because that's what everyone is doing. So just because you can't prepare yourself to cushion that transition to the point where it's, you know, not a big deal at all, that doesn't make it a bad thing. In fact, I think it's a good thing. I don't think these questions are supposed to have answers at this age. All right, I'm going to throw it on over to the post show where I have more things to complain about. Thank God. So, love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you over at the after show. Bye.